All right, and then my last topic that I'm gonna cover today is gonna be topic 3, and this is your percent increase and decrease, okay? This is what we've been talking about for a long time. So your review sheet has all of this stuff, and what does it mean? So first, the things to realize is, again, that an increase means it's getting bigger. Something's getting bigger, okay? For example, a 40% increase means that the new number is 40% bigger than the original. So we can use a tape diagram. So imagine this bar is 100%. If I have a 40% increase, I'm taking that original 100% and I'm adding 40% onto it. So I'm really taking 100% and adding 40% to it, so I have 140%. So I really have 140% of whatever we're talking about. We don't know what we're talking about, okay? So we can write this as an equation, and we can think about it as, okay, I'm starting with something, 100% of something. I'm just gonna use X because that's what we usually use. And I'm adding 40% of that X, because we're still talking about, to get my new thing Y. We don't know what Y is. I can combine, just like we did with the decimals and the fractions, these, and 100% plus 40%, again, gives me 140. So I have 140% of this thing, we don't know what it is, X. That's gonna be equal to Y, because we don't have a problem. There's one more thing we can do, and it goes back to that first video. A lot of times when we're writing equations, we don't put percents in there, okay? They get messy, they take up more space, whatever you wanna say. We usually write them as a fraction or a decimal. And the easiest thing to do is to write this as a decimal like we practice in topic 1. So 140% is equivalent to 1.40. And I'm actually gonna write up here, 1.40 times X is equal to Y, okay? So that's when it's an increase, and I've got that all listed down here. Now, going down to when it's a decrease. Think about something that's decreasing, it's getting smaller. So if we would have a 40% decrease, so if this is my 100, and I can imagine I have my 100% again, and now I'm taking off 40% of it. So what do I have left? Well, I have 60% left. Because if the whole thing's 100 and I'm getting rid of 40%, that's my decrease, I have 60 left. So my 100% minus my 40 is 60. Now we can write this as an equation. And again, we have 60% of our missing number, whatever it is we're talking about, to get to my original. But again, just like up here, we're not gonna write it as a percent, let's write that as a decimal. So 0.60 times X equals Y. And if you can write these two equations, you can solve any percent problems. So we're gonna practice 2 real quickly. And your first one is an increase of 20%. So remember, an increase is getting bigger. So I'm gonna start by drawing a tape diagram. And this is my 100%, so that represents the whole. Now we have an increase of 20%, so that means my new number, whatever it is gonna be that 100%, right? But we're also adding to it 20% more. So how long now is the whole thing? The whole thing is 120% long. If I'm gonna represent this using an equation, I'm gonna write my 120% as a decimal, which is simply move it over 2 spots, 1.20 times whatever it is, we don't know, equals Y. And that's how you write an equation. That's how you write the equation. So we'll try one for a decrease. And so here we have our decrease of 25%. So we do the same thing. We draw a tape diagram. And let's imagine that this is our whole. It's 100%. But now we have a decrease of 20%. So, or sorry, 25%. So rather than adding something onto it, we're actually going to be taking something off. So I'm going to take my 100% and I'm getting rid of 25%, and that's 1/4. So I'm going to eyeball it. Oh, that's about 25%. So now I no longer have that 25%. So what part is left? Well, I had 100, right? And I just took away 25, so I have 75% left. If I were to be solving a problem with a 25%, a decrease of 25%, we can say we really only have 75% left of it. We have 75% of whatever it is. If we're talking money, we're talking number of bison, fish in a pond, whatever. We only have 75%. There was a decrease of 25. So we can rewrite the 75%, remember, boom, boom, decimal point, as 0.75 of my x, we don't know what it is because we don't have a word problem here, is going to give me y. So that's how you can write an equation to show a decrease of 25%.